getting pretty cold these mornings. I'm in southern Canada, so you can only imagine how cold it would be in northern Ontario. This is 371.6. What is my mug that I'm drinking out of today? I'm not a Disney fan. It's just that I have the mug, so I use it. I mean, some Disney's. I like Toy Story and Toy Story 2. I think I mentioned that already. Yeah, that mug's probably 30 years old. All right, and remember, guys, don't forget the pinky. Now that's fancy. You know, it's 31 years old, too old for SpongeBob references. When the first time I watched SpongeBob, I came downstairs on a Saturday morning. I was watching YTV, which is like, I don't know, Kids WB for the Americans that are watching. And like, this is the best show ever. Because, you know, I just took a chance on it. But it was worth it. Those first 3 seasons are so good. Hey guys, good news for fat people. All right, the supply of Mounjaro, which is like Ozempic, is improved in the U.S., which is great because that means that a bunch of fat people with no discipline can just get an injection and it totally changes them. And you know, it's a win-win situation because, you know, you get slightly less fat and then the pharmaceutical companies make a lot of money. All right. So let's look. So Mounjaro is what it says. It's like a GLP-1 or GIP and GLP-1 receptor agonist. And I don't know what the GIP. I don't know what either of those are, but yeah, just another good Band-Aid so that people don't get healthy. I know a guy he's probably like less than 200 pounds, and he has diabetes. This is type 2 diabetes, by the way. They need to change the name of it. It needs to be called like fat ass dumb shit syndrome. Like, holy shit. Because people who have type 1 diabetes are actually, you know, they got it kind of rough because their pancreas doesn't work. But these people with type 2 diabetes is just fat ass disease. But this is great because then we're finally going to lower the obesity rate. At least that's what they'll tell you. Okay, we're trying something new. We're trying something again, but this time I'm not doing 30 eggs a day. I'm going to do 6 raw eggs a day. Okay, so see if we can. Oh, right into the muscle. Holy shit. Oh, man. So, hopefully I don't shit my pants. Okay. Then the other thing I'm going to eat is some cheap yogurt. This is the struggles of the modern male.
Biggest insecurities, bro, is that my chest is uneven because one pec is inserted higher than the other. We talked about this on my Twitch stream. If you guys want to follow me over there, Alex UBTV, we mentioned this, and it, bro, everyone in chat was talking about it, and it triggered me, dude. Because I have a pelvic tilt, and then also one of my pecs is different than the other. People don't, you can't tell through a mirror, but when it's like a camera like this, where it's like not mirror affected, you can
oh
tell
my, I see it.
Oh,
that's fucking terrible.
So, yeah, man, that shit just
oh, that makes me fucking sick.
My biggest insecurities,
you know.
Is that
what about your fucking underbite, dude? Fucking barracuda boy. All right, bullying's wrong, guys. Don't do that. Hell, I don't think you're treating that lady right, mister. I want to, hopefully my John Wayne impression is not terrible. I want to hear what it sounds like. So, if it's in the video, we'll know that's pretty good. We're having rice and chili beef. Not normal chili. I just have the chili seasoning. Ooh, perfect. Oh, I have to go run upstairs and get my distilled water. Burb. Okay, that was a lot of steps. So, we got our distilled water. Distilled water is going inside of the pot. Alright, we want to save some for my coffee tomorrow. Okay, perfect. So, I went to Fit for Less because I signed up yesterday. So I wanted to do a feeler visit. And that gym fucking blows, okay? But, let's see, there's a $50 annual fee, and then it's $8 a month. I picked the cheap package because that's the way I am. Look how big my nose is. Do I know? I mean, look how big my nose is. Come on. That's what big nose people are known for. So, it's not a racial thing. It's a big nose thing, okay? So, they have one squat rack, and it's one of these. It's one of these angled ones, and there's a bunch of hooks. I'm still gonna go because I need to socialize a little bit because I'm a fucking hermit. And the receptionist girl, she's pretty hot. Maybe a little bit of a thought, but you know, whatever. And then the riffraff's good. I saw a guy I knew from high school there, and I know another guy that goes there. Maybe I'll see him. So I'm gonna keep it to incentivize me to do press. Otherwise, I won't want to do press because it's not fun. Press when it starts getting really heavy. Oh, today was just 255, and the heaviest I've done for 3 sets of 5 is 297, and that was a good starting weight for me today. And my triceps have a lot of inflammation. My quads do because maybe you can see it. When you lock in your position, you take the fat kid. You assume the fat kid stance. Okay, you pretend you're the fucking Eiffel Tower. Feet are turned out. Okay, you're like this, and so your knees are locked. Okay, because if your knees aren't locked, then when you go to do your hip thrust, you'll have slack, and you don't want to have slack in your hip thrust because then your hip thrust sucks. Or you'll maybe do a push press. And push presses suck. Hopefully this thing doesn't fall off my tripod. Come on. There we go. So, yeah, we'll stay for a while. Because, it only costs me... It's still cheap. Because it's at the old Good Life location, which is part of the Quality Inn. And I figured it would be the same size as the Good Life that was there. But it's not. It's about a quarter of the size. It's just one big-ass room. Probably like 40 by 40. Something like that. Maybe 50 by 50. And they've got a bench. They've got an incline bench. They've got a bunch of dumb machines. They've got just some normal benches you can do some dumbbell shit on. They've got the angled one. You can do some, incline dumbbell press. After what I said, I was like, oh, maybe I'll do some pec flies. Then, I don't normally suggest those, but whatever, I'm there. Might as well, we'll put on some more meat, okay? Not really important for bench press, but I was just going to do something else. The dumbbell's only up to 75. What the fuck's that? I didn't even try, because I wanted to start at 80s and see how that felt. And so, then I'm like, oh, okay, I'll do some skull crushers. They don't even have a fucking W bar. All they have is the ones with the fixed weights. They go up to 110. Useless. So, at least I can still do overhead press, and then it's kind of like Planet Fitness because there's an alarm if the weight gets dropped too hard. Then you're a really bad dude. But I'm not going to be doing any deadlifts there. The bar I used actually wasn't bad, and it was straight. I can't do pin press there because the only squat rack they have is that dumbass angle one I was telling you about. So I don't need to do pin press for a while. I probably need to get up to 280 for 3 sets of 5 before I start thinking about that anyways. So I'm going to do that 3 or 4 days a week and then cut bench back to 2 days a week. Because press is easy to recover from. Although my triceps are really sore. My quads are fucking sore. Because I was having I feel like they're going to explode. My glutes are fucking sore too. anyways, yeah, there was some big booty Judy was there. She grabbed the dumbbell and she was doing some squats with. She had it in her hand like that. Hopefully you can see this. She had it in her hand like this. And she was doing squats with it. It's just interesting. You get to see people there. I saw some Sam Sulek inspired Zoomers that were really skinny. It's good he's got people going to the gym, but lots of those exercises are really dumb. Especially the cable Romanian deadlifts with the fucking round back. Terrible. Fucking terrible. It's all about heavy weights, and you can't do heavy weights with that fucking round back. Well, maybe you can for a little bit, but your back's gonna fucking split into two fucking pieces. Because you don't want to be loading the spine, you want to be loading the spinal erectors. Because obviously if you're in flexion, that much flexion, there's no way your spinal erectors are loaded. So that's not a hater thing, okay? Whatever. That guy puts in a lot of work, and he's extremely dedicated, and he works hard. But that is not good exercise to do like that. All right, we got our big ass Japanese. We got our super weed rice for super weed gains. Oh, I'm gonna be the world's biggest weed. There's probably a bigger weed than me. Lots of there's like powerlifting. Like John Hack was a RuneScape. He was addicted to RuneScape. Apparently, I don't actually play RuneScape. I just kind of reminisce about it. But apparently, he played a lot of old school. John Hack's a couple years younger than me, I think, maybe a year younger than me. And it's funny how like people in heavy metal which is like known for aggression and intensity. And then weightlifters, same thing, but they're like kind of nerds. Like me, I was a World of Warcraft player. I used to be into Star Trek really big, and I used to collect comic books. Okay. Sure you can see how much I'm putting in there. I just eyeball it, and then hopefully I don't put too much in. I'm pretty freaking hungry. The ground beef I bought is like a total pile of shit. That's all they had. So, whatever. And Chad will be home tomorrow, so then we can get some better shots. Because my head's probably not even in the fucking frame right now. That's all right. That's all right. You guys are probably sick of seeing that ugly mug anyways. You guys know anybody? Some people really don't. Some people really like looking at their face. I don't know if you've probably met a few of these people, and frankly, they might not even be good looking. Like I mentioned before, there was this big fat this tattooed whale that works at the gym. Not the gym I'm going to. The only employee I've seen another employee, but the only employee there, she's skinny. That's the she's a little bit of a thought. Whatever. She's friendly to me. But anyways, the tattooed whale has probably like 3,000 pictures of herself on her social medias. Well, just the Instagram is the only one I know. People would really like seeing their face. Ouch! All right. I'm a little more talkative today. I had 2 coffees, and it made me a little anxious, actually. Or maybe I was just nervous because I was going to the gym, and I'm a fucking hermit. Okay. I'll be forced to talk to people because I'll have to work in with them on the squat rack. All right. You want to see how bad this ground beef is? This one's terrible in there. Look at this shit. It's fucking... Wish it was a little more red, but whatever. My dad made his soup today. He makes these like... His soup looks like if you dragged a trawler, like a net on the bottom of Dagobah Swamp where Yoda lives. Okay, and you scooped a bunch of shit out of there. The X-Wing would probably be in there. And you scoop that out, and then you put it into a pot of water, and then you simmer it for an hour. That's lunch for my dad. All right. Some guy asked me about what I think about SARMs, selective androgen receptor modulators. Those are a waste of money because they're more expensive than steroids. And the people who are using SARMs shouldn't even, like, barely even fucking work out. I wouldn't even consider using anabolic steroids until you can squat 500 pounds. Because then you're committed. So, and like some people, like for me, I got acne, but I was already committed to weightlifting. But I saw this kid, he's super skinny, and he got acne really bad from using steroids. His whole back was just like it looked like a minefield, went off on his back. It was terrible. Holy shit. I'll find him again. I was just watching his videos because he's doing a vlog sort of like this. I mean, SARMs aren't as researched. Apparently, one of them makes you see yellow. There's a guy that went blind from using SARMs. And testosterone's not going to... This isn't doctor's advice, but testosterone's not going to do that. Testosterone is bioidentical. Okay, your body produces it, obviously, and nandrolone, your body produces that too. That's DECA or NPP. Obviously, in tiny quantities. Although, you're combining those, you're going to be, increasing the aromatization, okay, of your testosterone, or making your nipples more sensitive to the estrogen, and so. You can develop gynecomastia more easily if you use both of those. That's another thing you got to consider. Well, SARMs, I don't think any SARMs will cause aromatization, but they can make you bald, just like normal androgens do. You probably get hair growth, acne. They obviously shut down your HPTA. And people just use them because they're a gray market drug, and so because in America you can get in big trouble if you're in possession of steroids because it's considered Schedule 3, so it's a felony to own it or to be in possession of it. In Canada, it's Schedule 4. It's a little different. So, hopefully my rice isn't all stuck to the bottom. I don't recommend using those. If you're not, you got to be all in it because steroids will make you all in. Because let's say you go on test or whatever, you're on for like 2 weeks and you're like, okay, this is too much. You start getting acne, you get sensitive nipples, and you're like, okay, I got to stop this immediately. You're going to be shut down for a long time. Because some of the drugs you can bounce back with, like HCG, lots of them, like the availability is really low. Unless you get, you talk to your doctor, but seeing your doctor for these things in Canada is a motherfucker. And there's just so many things you have to take into consideration when you start using them, or if you're using a decent amount. If you're just on a TRT, then whatever. If you're just on 200 milligrams of test a week, then that's not too much. But if you're taking as far as I did, there's so many other supplements you have to take to mitigate the damage that you're doing to your health. Antioxidants, you got to take more magnesium. You got your B vitamins you have to take. There's so much shit. I've gotten used to the amount of pills that I take, but at the beginning it was a chore. But now I just feel bad if I don't take them. Magnesium is really important because one thing I noticed when I started taking Tren especially when I started taking Tren, I started cramping like a motherfucker. And now it's beef time. Look, guys, my new pan. All right, I gotta be honest, this actually isn't a new pan. Or I always keep 100. Pans are fucking expensive, dude. If you want a good pan, like this one. Oh, shit. Okay. All right, good. With the right temperature. You know, that gym's so small that if I wanted to set up a tripod, it would be taking up, like, I don't know, it'd be taking up a huge plot of land. If the, let's say that 50 by 50 room, 50 by 50 is probably being generous. That used to be the old, when it was Good Life there, that was the room where all the fat women would be in there, and they'd be doing, what the fuck is that? They'd have their short barbells, and then they'd be doing like a circuit training routine in there. And then there'd be like a step up thing. They could step up on that. And they'd be doing their bent over rows when their back's like this. Their quarter squats. 75-pound dumbbells. I said dumbbells are useful. You know, I was just gonna mess around with that. Do like 3 sets. You don't really need to do insane volume in one day. Because you think my workouts, the volume's not that high, but I was benching 3 days a week. Bodybuilders don't do that. 3 sets of 5, if you're doing, especially with the weight that I'm using now, I'm not getting 6 reps. So that's pretty stressful on the system. And you're going to notice that if you start doing some deadlifts. Oh my goodness, that's the babushka. She's gonna get fucking fired. Holy shit, that's fucking terrible. That was more gross than my shit anecdote. There's guys, especially powerlifters, when they're doing their routine, they do a lot of volume. Back offsets, you don't need to do that. It's just a waste of time. It's just that it's sold pretty well because the strongest guys are doing that. That's why I suggest once you develop good form and you're on a pretty decent weight, you just do an all-out set and do like 8 reps instead of doing 5 reps, and then eventually it'll come down to 7, and then 6, and then 5, and then see how far you can take the 5. Add straps if you have to. It's not about grip; it's about training your hips. Train grip, and just get some like Captains of Crush grippers. Just do that. Tomorrow I'm going into big city, semi-big city. It's not Toronto, that's big city, or Montreal, or Ottawa. But I'm going into a semi-big city, and I gotta drop my 7-string guitar off there. That thing's got a lot of dust on it, so I want to get it's an Evertune. It has an Evertune bridge, and I want to get it set up really well, because I don't even want to spend the time to learn how to set that thing up, just because I still won't set it up good enough. So I'm making this guy to set it up in open C. It's an E standard, and that's too high because I want to do some lower tunings. Because I've been listening to some music with lower tunings, and I want to write some music like that, like Devin Townsend's Extravagant Lad, and Meshuggah, and there's this other band from England called Rannoch that I got recommended. It's really cool. That's one big pile of shit, as Jeff Goldblum would say. So you didn't see the press, but it was feeling pretty good. It's feeling pretty good. I do a thumbless grip for the press. Yeah, no fucking W bar for skull crushers. If you want, there's a straight bar, but the straight bar pones my wrists for skull crushers. The guy that I knew there, if he left a little bit before I did, so otherwise I was going to challenge him to a curl off with the dumbbells. 75 is still, those are still pretty hard. This workout brought to you by Mr. Noodles. You know, when we were in elementary school, people would take these for lunch and then just eat the dry noodles, or you open it up, or maybe like you fucking crush it and you crumble everything in here, and then you open it up and then get out the seasoning salt, put it in, then shake it up, and then eat it. These things are pretty tasty. This is the beef one's good. The chicken one's good. I can't remember what the other one's. Oriental, I think. Super racist. I saw a video where Alex Eubank was talking about how people in the industry are shitting on him, kind of making fun of him. The Andrew Eubanks memes went a little far. I contributed to that a little bit, but no one saw my video. But that's who I'm supposed to be in the picture. Because if you look at his profile picture for YouTube, that's the face I was trying to make. He's better looking than me. I did the best I could. I was watching Larry Wheel's video when his recent one. I think he won this bodybuilding, a classic physique competition at the Mr. Olympia. And some of the guys he was going against weren't even, like, he was fucking ripped. And I watched him posing on stage with the guy, and the guy was probably like over 12% body fat. And he's leaner than me, but I'm on the bodybuilding stage. If my body fat was that low, I'd be really fucking weak. Unless the only people who are strong at low body fats are people who are naturally lean. You know, Sam Sulek, Larry Wheels. In that gym, there's barely any 45s. There's no leg press machine. So if I wanted to do deadlifts, I'd have to take the plates from the other, because there's only the incline bench, the flat bench, and then the squat rack. I don't think there's plates anywhere else. Oh, Smith machine. That fucking waste of steel. The thing needs to be repurposed into a guillotine. This is like Richard Dreyfuss when he's making the mountain of sand in his living room after he saw the alien ship in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. You've definitely not seen that movie. Those movies didn't involve space. Yeah, I lost interest in them. Space. Well, let me ask you a question. How do you create propulsion in a vacuum? And how do you have an atmosphere, an uncontained gas? I don't know what you call that. Like gas without a container up beside a vacuum. You know the picture of the Earth supposedly from space. Those are all fakes. Those are just paintings. And well, why would they fake that? Well, to turn you into an amoral, indulgence-chasing, nihilistic turd. It's then easier to control, because then they can hang a carrot in front of you and keep you chasing after things that don't fucking matter. Like materialism. Like rap music. The theme in rap music is just like status, power. Okay, and that's what lots of people have. That's what people think masculinity is. It's just accumulating as many resources as possible and then fucking as many sluts as possible. And getting high. That's the life. Yep. That's definitely the good way to live. That's why that'll make you really happy and that'll make the world better. Another question. Let's say a plane's flying at the equator. The Earth supposedly spins 1,000 miles per hour at the equator, okay? And so if you're taking a plane, let's say you're going in the opposite direction, how could you possibly catch up? How could you possibly make any ground? Because the whole like heliocentric view of the universe is that everything just happened, right? It just like something came from the almost nothing. Is there's just gases in space, and then they're colliding with one another, and then you have an explosion. It creates another series of explosions. That's what the galaxies, and then after that, the solar systems are made of. And then on our planet, there's like the primordial soup. There's like a piece of shit that's it's just sitting in the ocean, and it's like I feel like wiggling. All right, that may be easier to get around maybe. And then eventually it's been wiggling so much that it grows a fucking tail fin. Okay, and then it's like, oh man, I'm sick of just swimming this whole time. All right, so it decides to go up on land. Okay, and it's squirming along the land, and it squirms so long that it actually grows other appendages that help it, so that it doesn't have to squirm as much, and then it can drag itself along. Okay, and then eventually they get longer, and then they can start walking. Okay, and then one day he's like, man, I'm sick of being bent over like this all the time. I just want to use two of my legs. Okay, and then the piece of shit standing up straight. Okay, and and so on. Well, that's what we came from, and all the scientists agree on that. And so, I guess if all scientists, if there's a consensus on one thing, then I guess it's true. The scientists are completely unbiased. They don't have to answer to anyone, and so they can just tell the truth. Thankfully, there's fact checkers. Otherwise, we'd have the wrong people on mainstream, like CNN, telling us what to do with our bodies, what sort of medications to take. Because they have a big budget, and people with a big budget have a big budget for a reason, and they've accumulated all those resources because of years of telling truth, and getting the facts straight. There's no sort of ulterior motive involved, and they don't have to maintain a broadcasting license. Oh yeah, they do. But I mean, Big Brother wouldn't get involved in the news, and he also doesn't take bribes. He turns all the bribes away, and then the people that try bribing him, they immediately go to jail. Did I say jail? I meant they don't directly go to jail. They directly pass go, and they directly collect $200 billion. Hopefully that wasn't too fucking cringe. Hopefully the camera's still running. You know what RNG is, the random number generator? Well, that's what they use for carbon dating. Like, oh, look at this rock. They push the button. Oh, it's 250 to 430 million years old. Basically playing RuneScape. Sometimes you get zeros, sometimes you get fucking 12s. That fucking game, leveling up. I remember I was playing some old school 2 years ago, and I was just farming off chickens. I was leveling up my strength, and they give 12 XP each. It's 4 XP per 1 damage. I think that's how it is. And then it tells you how much experience you have to get to the next level, and I was calculating, I'm like, holy fucking shit. And I was only like level 50 something. I watched this video recently where a guy went from 1 to 99 in a bunch of different stats just in Lumbridge. Holy cow, that's some dedication. There's an infinite money hack. I don't think my brother's gonna go back to the game, so if you want easy money, buy, I can't remember if it's the iron scimitars or the steel scimitars. One or the other. You buy that off the auction house or the Grand Exchange, and then you go to Al Kharid and sell it to the scimitar salesman for profit. Because they're way cheaper on the Grand Exchange. You might be inflating the currency a little bit, but whatever. That's a good thing. It stimulates the economy. That's what we learned from Keynes. Nothing stimulates the economy like war, though. Man, that makes the economy so good. So, what do you get from war? You get a lot of destruction of property. So, obviously a lot of dead people. But it only depends on who the dead people are. So if there's some people they're not cared about very much, well, they might be. People might shed some crocodile tears for them, like the kids in Iraq and Afghanistan that got blown to smithereens. But so if you want to stimulate the economy, what you should do is just blow your house up. It's called the broken window fallacy. It's like, oh man, that's really good because now your window's broken. Now the glacier gets a job out of that. Yeah, but you're out of money. And so whoever you were going to give money to that you now have to give to the glacier, whoever was going to get that money doesn't have the money. And also military equipment isn't very productive. It doesn't make the economy any better. Okay. You're not going to be hauling wood or logs and stuff that is eventually going to be used to build houses with a fucking tank.